Today is prep day. Tomorrow I'm going to be going on another road trip to Orlando to attend the Blog Her conference, which is another blogging conference I usually go to. And I need to start prepping my food for tomorrow, especially for the road trip. We're going to be driving 5 hours. So to avoid what happened to us last time, when we thought we had food to make sandwiches for the road trip and we didn't, and we ended up having to stop at a rest stop and getting some sandwiches, which actually the veggie sandwich I got was just some like lettuce and onions and a piece of bread. It wasn't really appetizing at all. So I'm going to try to avoid that by prepping ahead of time and actually taking some time out today, even though I'm packing for the trip and getting my car ready for the long drive. I gotta make some time for meal prep. So I'm gonna be showing you what foods I'm gonna be taking with me and snacks for this road trip. Even though this is a conference and they do make accommodations for people with dietary restrictions, sometimes you just don't either want to eat what they have or like the spread that they have. So I'm gonna try to have meals or at least snacks with me. So if I don't like something that they're offering as the vegan option, or I don't have time to get to it, I'll always have a snack or some type of food on me. What I didn't get to show you in the last road trip we took to Orlando last month was that we actually took a blender with us to make smoothies in the morning, which actually worked out great because that replaced our breakfast and we didn't really have to go buy breakfast outside when we weren't in the conference. So we're gonna do this again since we are driving and we don't have to worry about airport security trying to confiscate a blender. We're gonna take it and blend some more smoothies. So first up on my list of road trip food is water. It's necessary to keep hydrated, especially if you're driving for a long time. I'm gonna be taking a few bottles of water just for the road trip to Orlando, and then once we get there, we'll buy some more water to keep in the hotel and have throughout the whole time that we're there. Next is almond milk or any other non-dairy milk. This is what I'm gonna use to make my smoothies with. And I got the unsweetened kind so I can control the sugar intake. That's why I like to buy unsweetened. So I'm not adding more sugar to something that has sugar already in it. Next up is protein powder. Now, I don't drink a lot of protein powder. I only drink it like if I'm busy and I don't know when I'm gonna eat, or it's gonna be a while until I eat my next meal, I'll add this protein powder to my smoothies. I like to use the raw organic type. This next item is greens powder that I received. It actually has a lot of green vegetables in it, so I'm going to use this as a substitute for actual greens in the event we can't make it to the supermarket for the first few days to buy a bag of spinach or kale to add to the smoothies. This green powder will be a good substitute for it. Plus, you don't have to refrigerate it. Next up is fruits. So we're taking these apples. The smoothie I like to make actually calls for bananas, so I don't have the bananas with me. I'll get those later, but for now we'll have the apples at least as a snack, or we could add them to the smoothie, so they're versatile that way. Next up is bee-free honey. Now I use this as a sweetener and a substitute for agave, or if a recipe calls for honey, this is what I use. It's actually made out of apples. I'm going to include a link to this down below so you can check it out because it's really good. The next item is flax seeds. These are great for getting your omega-3s in every day, and I like to add them to my daily smoothie. The next item is almond butter or any other nut butter. This is my favorite brand of almond butter because they have a no salt and no sugar added version of it, which is just pure almond butter, which is what you should be eating. Regular nut butters always contain some added salts and sugar, and you really don't need that. The nut butters taste fine on their own. And what's great about these are that they're in convenient packets, so I could just use one packet a day, especially if you don't want to lug the whole jar of peanut butter or almond butter around with you. Okay, the next items are snacks. So I'm taking a few bars with me. Those are chia bars, apple and mango fruit bars, which are really good. And the only two ingredients in those bars are actually just apple and mango, how it's supposed to be. I'm actually going to take some dried fruit. I have some dried mangoes there. These are unsulfured and unsweetened, which is what you should be looking for when you buy dried fruits, because all of the dried fruits that do not specify that they're unsulfured or unsweetened are always sweetened or contain sulfur. And some trail mix. This is my favorite kind because I'm not a big fan of raisins, so this summer trails mix doesn't have any raisins in it. So I'm going to be taking some hummus sandwiches made with Ezekiel bread. It may look like a lot of food, but in actuality it isn't, because this is not going to cover all of my meals. But you do have to always anticipate that whenever you go somewhere, there may not be food that you can eat. So if you anticipate and prepare for the worst, at least you'll have a backup plan and you'll have something to eat, as opposed to starving till you can find food that you can eat. I hope you found these tips useful. And if you want to know more about which plant-based foods are travel friendly, I have a blog post about it where I recommend more items than what I'm bringing on my road trip. I'm going to put the link to that blog post below. And if you have any other tips on which foods are great for traveling, put them in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You'll get notifications of the latest vlog episodes, as well as when I post new recipe demonstrations. And I'll see you guys later. Bye!